Hello, I'm Josh Wilkinson, and this is the Big Chat Corona Convo. I asked the people of Greater Manchester about their time in lockdown, and here it is.
Alright, here we go.
Hello, how are you to all people?
Talk about how all the issues that you've had, because you have a touchy job and you can't touch people now, everyone's got corona.
Do you want to go first?
No.
Well, this isn't as easy as it looks, is it?
The state of that. Jesus.
This is what I'd call the COVID beard, and it just got out of hand, really.
I'm gonna go through these questions for you.
I guess I'm just gonna be chatting.
This is sick, like, this is great.
Bits of wishy-washy bobs of everything.
So there you go.
So my first question would be, what is coronavirus in your own words?
Without getting too deep into it, coronavirus is real. People are dying.
Coronavirus to me, well, I mean to everyone, is a pandemic. I think coronavirus has highlighted to us the things that are most important.
I think coronavirus had major affect all people around the world, and I have to take extra care because I got diabetes.
The symptoms vary depending on the person, so you can have a cough, you can have a fever.
So we have to stay inside and keep 2 meters apart from everybody else.
It's really something you don't want to get, having caught it, and my wife caught it as well.
It's been a struggle for the people on the front line in the NHS and the people risking their lives and the people who are working in shops every day, like my dad.
I probably don't know enough about it, to be honest. I just know that it's evil.
People talk about coronavirus being like a leveller. You know, it doesn't pick. You know, it's like everyone's susceptible, which they are.
An evil virus.
A horrible virus.
A pain in the ass.
A pain in the ass.
Coronavirus is a virus that came from bat soup or something and originated in China. I really have no idea.
Do you remember the Simpsons movie, that massive dome thing? I think like we're living one of those, that can't leave the dome.
It may be, I don't know, there's speculations about it being man-made and speculations about it not being, like, yeah. I just think it's, at the end of the day, it's just an unfortunate experience that has taken millions of lives and will continue to take, like, lives, unfortunately. And even if that's not the case, the economic ramifications is going to cause people to live in poverty for years to come.
It was always going to happen at some point. You know, you look at it and people like Obama and Bill Gates have preached about it for quite a long time. I also think that it is the end of capitalism as we sort of know it.
People knew that this could happen, but people were like, let's just put it to the back over here. And when it comes to it, we'll deal with it then. And then it came to it, and then everyone was like, oh my gosh, how do we deal with this? How do we deal with such a crisis? And like, all the world systems kind of shut down.
You know, as I watched the news and saw what was happening in Italy and Spain, all these countries were going into lockdown. We didn't seem to be doing very much at all. And I started to think, actually, you know, this is pretty scary. This is a pretty scary thing that's happening.
It's something that we should be holding the government to account to, because they've not acted in the way that they should have done, and they've underfunded the NHS.
It's like a disease over the whole entire world.
People are wearing face masks in the car. Yeah, I don't know, man.
When did coronavirus first affect you?
I couldn't smell anything. I really couldn't smell anything. And then I spoke to one of my friends and he was like, hey, I think you got the coronavirus. I was like, oh no.
I remember sitting down to watch the Prime Minister's briefing, and it was the one where he eventually did announce that all schools were going to be closed. He also announced that GCSEs and A-levels were all going to be scrapped. I've got 2 teenagers who are both due to be taking GCSEs and A-levels, and they were actually quite upset when they first heard that they weren't going to be doing their exams. I suppose that sort of rug of normality had been pulled out from underneath their feet, and it was like, you know, we expect to do them, we're not going to be doing them. They did get over that quite quickly, actually. They found consolation in the PS4.
I was running a workshop in a theatre, and straight after, so I was meant to be putting on a show there, and straight after I had a meeting and got told that the theatre's shutting down, and I don't know if the show's definitely not going to go ahead. In January we were on the way home from France, and we were first starting to hear about how the virus was spreading. I think it was in Italy by then, or it started to make its way over to Italy by then, and we were wearing masks in the airport, and it was all quite funny and light, and it was scary. We made sure we were travelling with masks on, but everybody back home thought that was a really unusual thing to be doing, to be wearing a mask.
It all started when I was in hospital in February. I was very ill. I might be in coronavirus, but look at me now. I'm back to normal.
I went to shake someone's hand and he refused to do it. He went, "Oh, we're still shaking hands." And I was like, "Why? Coronavirus." And I was like, "Oh."
Shockwaves hit the hospitality industry, particularly small independent restaurants. Customer numbers dropped overnight, and there was nothing they could do to claim off their business disruption insurance because they'd not been forcibly closed. It was just advice at that stage.
The day that we were told we were going to work from home.
Universities were closed down and my lectures were cancelled for that week.
We found out about coronavirus and we're in Germany, and then we had to literally book emergency flights, so it was like overnight.
It was a bit of a shock because the salon said it was shutting, and as long as I've been there, we've never shut, and I've never not worked.
I remember saying to my housemate before I left, you know, they're going to start closing the pubs and stuff. I remember he said, "No, they'll never close the pubs in this country. No offence."
It's affected me since day one because I work in a hospital, so I'm surrounded by it all the time. I've had it, come out of it, so that's a blessing in itself.
I got like this voice message, you know, basically them saying that it was like their last words, and I was just like, wow. And I sort of stayed up until like 4 a.m. sort of trying to comfort them whilst the ambulance came, and it took about 5 hours, I think, to come. And they generally thought they were going to die.
And everything just became so different.
Social distancing was not a word. Yeah, it's like crazy.
The first big thing for us before lockdown was that we had to cancel Indy's christening.
Oh, we did!
So
yeah.
Indy was meant to be getting christened on Mother's Day, which is the 22nd of March.
Yeah.
But it got cancelled.
Yeah, we had pies ordered.
When everybody started emptying the shelves at Asda and there was nothing on the shelves. That's the first time we really realised what was going on.
I was at school and I got told that we weren't going to coming back for like a few weeks. So by the time I go back, I'm probably going to be in another year.
Immediately I wasn't able to see my sister who's in care or speak in person to my mum. I mean, I've been dropping stuff off with her, but I've literally not had any physical contact with my sister since lockdown began.
What's lockdown been like for you?
I find it bored at home doing nothing. However, my friends hearing and deaf talk about go on Zoom, have a laugh, chat, makes everyone happy, stay positive.
And some days it changes by the hour. 1 hour's good, the next hour's bad, the next hour I don't know, the next hour I'm really happy and giddy and singing, and the next hour I'm crying. Changes by the hour. I can't say it's been good or bad, it's been bits of both.
Lockdown for me has been mainly lack of freedom, not being able to work at first, and then quite worrying about my family, children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Lockdown is like a prison, like an inmate.
No trains, buses, trams, planes.
This is the longest that I've ever not been in the city for, so it's time to kind of go back and see people, obviously when the time is right.
Really, the highlight of what I do is making people laugh. And I can't do that in the same way as as what I can do with a room full of people.
I've been having this sort of internal struggle, which I'm sure everybody can relate to, where I've been like, yes, I've got so much time, I need to do so much stuff, I need to learn everything, but then a part of me is like, I'm never going to have all this time again. Put your feet up, have a bubble bath.
Lockdown has been a complete shutdown. I literally just went into zombie mode and did nothing for the first few weeks. Just wake up, do the absolute bare minimum.
Do you know what? Lockdown hasn't actually been that different for me, to be honest. I don't really leave the house anyway. It's actually rare that I do.
Lockdown's been great.
We had a lovely time.
I mean, when I went away for over a year, so I've not seen her, and I've seen her every day in the past 7 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. A long time.
And yeah, we don't know why we're not hating it, but we're loving it.
Like, actually loving it though.
I'm in the living room, and like I feel like before Corona, the living room was a dying space all around the world, and it's crazy.
I've just had to do like a lot of uni work and just a lot of like personal reflection.
It's been a mix of love and loneliness, basically. I live on my own, which can be quite lonely. But there's a lot of love in my life that, you know, people have bestowed on me to make me feel less lonely.
Lockdown has been really difficult because I go to work and I'm dealing with it, and with my spare time I want to be able to go out and do what I need to do to kind of get myself out of that mind frame, but unfortunately I go home and I'm stuck with it.
I started to see people pass away, you know, that I couldn't be with, I couldn't connect with, and through the street work that I'm connected to through the Federation, we were starting to hear of stories of young people who were in grief and bereavement because, you know, they were losing family members, they were losing parents, and some were feeling very much that they could have been a carrier for it and didn't know if they'd brought it back to the family unit or not from school.
Been, you know, delivering free supplies, you know, face masks, gloves, hand sanitizers, you know, vitamin capsules, paracetamols, anything that someone might need who's isolating, vulnerable, elderly, in that kind of situation. As a driving instructor, I have a car. I said, hey, I'll volunteer. I'll do some of the deliveries with you. Get me out of the house.
The constant zooming and everything else it's a massive change. I'm also not great at kind of digital stuff, so I've had to learn a lot along the way as well.
It's been nice having you home.
Ah.
So if I was just on my own with Indy, I think it would be quite intense because obviously all our little baby classes and things are cancelled.
It's been okay. I've been doing work that my school has sent me, but I wouldn't say it's bad, but I still would like to go back to school and go and see my friends.
We get on really well with our neighbours, so we get curries from next door. She was teaching me how to make chapatis over the wall.
What's everyone been doing with the time in isolation?
I guess I've spent a lot of time on Zoom and Skype and lots of various different video platforms, and I'm really quite bored of the screen.
The most I think I've ever done is go to Tesco, and that's the most productive I think I've been.
Hula hooping, dancing, being silly, learning dance videos, not TikTok because I can't work TikToks. I've been learning other dance videos.
I've been doing a lot of learning French. I've been doing a lot of exercise, more than I actually did before. I managed to run 5k, which I've never done before.
And we've entered Ramadan, and now that we're in Ramadan, we're used to like going out to the mosque every day, you know, 5 daily prayers, the evening long prayers, you know, reading the Quran a little bit more, you know, cleansing your mind, your body, your soul, you know, preventing all the bad stuff that you used to do, just kind of like look after that a little bit more. But now we're just, everything's at home, and it's an interesting one because I've never experienced anything like it in my life.
I've been decorating my flat, as you can see, this nice bright green wall and the big plant makes me feel happy.
What have I been doing with my time in isolation? Not enough.
Been writing the sitcom that'll never get made, the film that'll never get made,
and playing football with my youngest lad.
I've been reading books, which is my favourite thing to do in my spare time. I have also been playing with my brother and outside when it's sunny.
DJing, been writing.
Lockdown has actually been really busy and really quite stressful. It's been long days and late nights.
I've had a lot of baths.
And I've been cooking, gardening and exercising every day.
Exercise, do weights, sit-ups, press-ups, anything to keep fit.
Watering plants.
I've been going on walks, I've done things around the house, like I've painted a bench in the backyard.
And I spent time with family.
Spending quite a bit of time doing quizzes with the family on 4 or 5-way video link through Zoom.
I've also done a lot of quizzes. My general knowledge has increased by about 150% since this lockdown, so if that's not a positive to take away, then I don't know what is.
I've been annoying.
Spend some time on social media, reading, do a bit of work.
Start off with me Joe Wicks warm up, me workout. He gets me all hot and sweaty first thing in the morning. I do the workout, I don't just get hot and sweaty watching him do it.
Freshen up, play Call of Duty on the mobile.
Cook a bit.
I've made vegan lasagna, vegan 3 beans, so becoming more of a baker and a cook myself, so Master Chef, watch out, I'm coming.
I would say cooking, but I've actually done the eating rather than the cooking.
Eating
so much
and writing lists of films to watch, then watching the films on the list.
And biscuits. Lots of biscuits.
Order food, takeaway, not even looking after what I'm eating at this point now.
Washing up, loads.
The last day that Nando's was open, and I went there and I thought I'm going to get a Nando's before something happens, and I said to the girl on the counter, "Are you an essential service? Because I need you. You can't close. I need you." And then the day after they closed.
Done a lot of binge watching.
Netflix, of course, is central to my evenings.
Chilling out.
Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Have a snack.
Lovely.
And a bit more social media.
I want to know what people have learned from all of this.
It's a really good question.
Just to be kinder.
Just to be thankful, have a bit more gratitude, more patience. Although I'd like to think that I am a patient person, just having more patience with everything that's going on.
I learned from this to stay positive, not negative. Makes it everyone stay happy and enjoy life.
Sometimes we don't have to go and do a meeting at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night somewhere when we could just do a Zoom call.
How much change can happen when we choose to make it happen?
Probably be to spend more time with the family and maybe less work.
Life is fragile. One person doing one thing on the other side of the world can completely throw everything else into... You can throw all your plans out the window.
To make the most of every day and every situation.
Spend more time with myself. This is a long time to spend with yourself when, for a living, you pretend to be another person. This is very hard. I've never spent this much time with myself.
I've learned that nature is really important. I've really been enjoying seeing the little ducklings in Alexandra Park that have been born during lockdown.
I've also learned a new hairstyle. So I changed my hair and things.
How much I really love people.
I've learned that some illnesses are really dangerous. And I've also learned what it's like to be in isolation and being off doing homeschooling, because I hadn't done homeschooling before this had started.
Like, I've been travelling all over the world, but it's not even that I'm craving. I'm not craving to get on a flight, or I'm literally craving to see my best friends, have a hug. Not even going a night out, just sit in a cafe.
It's confirmed that what's really important in my life, which is my family.
That I really, 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 really miss hugging people.
Just like that, life can be fine when you slow down. I think I was someone that lived life very quick, did loads of things and was always juggling and spinning plates, and isolation has shown me that weekends where you don't plan anything can be really nice. You can really benefit from them. And so I'm going to start doing that more when all this is over.
Often in the news you think that things are so far away, and you see things that could happen or have happened elsewhere, and you think that they're never going to happen where you are, but we're all on the same earth. Anything that happens anywhere can happen where you are as well.
At least I get on with my wife. We've not had an argument yet.
And finally, to wrap it up, what are your hopes for the future?
My hope for the future is to be able to give people I love a hug.
My hope for the future, that this is never allowed to happen again and the world is a better place.
Just normal life comes back.
I hope everyone can stay safe. This will be over soon.
A big hope is that maybe it totally changes the world order.
When people face adversity in their lives, I believe it really does change them. And I believe because we've all faced this, all together, this has been global adversity. I think everybody's going to come out of it. Everybody went into it as a good person, but I think we're all going to come out of it better people. And I do really hope that is what happens. And I hope we can all appreciate giving each other a hug and a high five. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I am. And that's it.
For a vaccine to come along so that life can get back to sort of normal again.
My hopes for the future is that we can finally get an antibody test so we can see who's had it and who has not had it. Public testing for everyone. I think once that happens, we'll be able to kind of nip it in the bud, self-quarantine the people that need to. This will be an opportunity for us to see our loved ones again. And yeah, I hope that in the next few months to within a year, all of this will be over and we can go back to partying.
I just hope that we learned everything that we needed to as a society throughout this period, so that when everything does get back to some form of normalcy, whatever that means now,
that we take this moment to pedestrianise Manchester.
My hope for the future with this coronavirus situation is that the world can find a way to come together and unite beyond this crisis.
And realise that we don't need loads of cars driving in and out all the time, and we don't need that.
Less cars, less carbon emissions. Let's see how we can move on from there. Maybe people could work from home more days.
That we all just get on a little bit better than we did.
I do miss the pub.
Yeah.
And I hope craft beer doesn't die.
I think society could benefit if people just think of other people instead of themselves. But minority will spoil it for everybody else as usual.
So it is a necessity that everyone has access to internet and small things like that, and obviously bigger things like healthcare. So I hope it sways how people feel about those kind of issues, because the countries that put money into their healthcare and look after their systems and look after their population are the ones that have done the best in this.
My hope is for the future is that coronavirus doesn't have to necessarily stop. But I would like it to stop, but it doesn't have to necessarily stop. I would just like it so that I could go and see my friends or my grandparents and everybody else. But I would like it to stop too.
So there you go. A time capsule of conversation, preserving our time, thoughts and actions in isolation. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that took part in the Big Chat Corona Convo, and if you haven't already, go and follow on Instagram and give us a cheeky subscribe on YouTube.
And now here's the weather.